Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. It's time to have a look at the BM-31-12. This is the new Victory Day event vehicle that is coming in. The event for it actually starts in approximately a day or two, depending on when you are watching this video. The BM-31-12 is a rocket truck, basically, with access to 12 rockets on the back and then the truck portion at the bottom. Very similar to the Katyusha, apart from the rockets are different. One of the things I will say, to get access to this vehicle, you go through the War Thunder wiki. So what you want to do is log into the War Thunder wiki, and then in the same browser, while you have War Thunder open, paste in the link that I put in the description, and it will take you to the vehicle in your hangar. It's pretty cool, and definitely is an interesting thing to have a look at things. It's going to be rank 3, and also BR 4.0, which seems a little bit high. I feel like that's going to change probably pretty soon. The Katyusha is like 2.7, I think, or 2.3, but that did go down in BR over time. The big difference between the two vehicles is the 300mm M31 rockets, which you see on the back here, the good old 12 of them in this rack setup. So these rockets, they are the M13 UKs. They have 66mm of pen, but the main thing that it gets access to is nearly 30 kilograms of explosive mass. So if this thing even lands near stuff like light tanks or open tops, they'll just die. If it lands on heavy tanks and Panthers or mediums or whatever you find, it should also destroy them. So the only issue I've had once is hitting a Panther and it didn't die, but everything else I was able to pen pretty easily through overpressure. Now, the issue is not the rocket itself, just like the BM-31. The issue with the the BM-32, the issue with the BM-31 is simple. The actual guidance on this thing is pretty awful. It has pretty much no rotation on it. The actual horizontal guidance is only 10 degrees either way. The vertical guidance is plus 10 to plus 48. So the only way that you can kind of aim this straight, well, not even straight, but maybe plus 5 or plus 4 degrees, is by using your hydropneumatic suspension on the vehicle, which you can do. It moves, tilts basically forwards and backwards to be able to fire the rockets, but that's really about it. The vehicle does have access to 2 crew, and that's it. It does have some armored plates on the top. So 5mm and also 1mm of structural steel around it. So yeah, you'll be able to be machine gunned to death is probably the best way to put it. I don't think this vehicle is surviving much in terms of shots. It's definitely something that's just going to get bonked and then dealt with. One thing I do enjoy doing is having a look at what something like a Sturmpanzer round would do to something like this, just to kind of show you the amount of damage that things like this can do. So yeah, the whole cabin just pops and just explodes, so there's not really a lot left in the vehicle. But also at the same time, APT-wise, you can literally pen it with just machine gun rounds. So yeah, that's obviously shows the survivability of this thing is not exactly through the roof. The vehicle is also labeled as a tank. Well, it's not labeled as a tank destroyer. Yes, it is. I'm an idiot. It's labeled as a tank destroyer, but the thing that confused me is it also gets artillery support. So they gave it artillery, which is quite nice. They didn't have to. Usually tank destroyers don't get access to artillery. They didn't give it scouting though, so at least you're able to do something while your rockets missing the targets. But since you only also get 12 of the rockets, you have to be pretty careful with shooting them, because you'll end up just missing quite a lot of the time, which is a bit of a problem. The vehicle is powered by an 84 horsepower engine. It's 6.5 tons, and also goes pretty quick if you throw it off a cliff. There is no way that this thing will get up to 72 kilometers an hour in realistic without a very prolonged time, or if, as I said, you threw it off a cliff. The other parts of it, like the secondary stuff, are all pretty negative on it. It does have some quite nice camos though, so at least there's that, I suppose. You know, it's pretty standard camos that you see across the place. It does have the decal on it as well, the T54-412 with the star, so that seems to come with all of the different camos that exist. So if you feel like grinding out these camos or buying them, then that will be imprinted into the setup on both sides. So you may look at the rocket and you may think, oh, that looks kind of cool. What an interesting setup. Well, let's show you why. It isn't. This is its gun depression. That's it. There you go. The horizontal traverse. That's it. That's all you get. So you can't like push this thing to the center or push this thing to the side and decrease it. No. And let's talk about the hydromatic suspension. So let's say we want to shoot at, I don't know, let's say this Panther here, right? I'm pretty sure this Panther is 400 meters. Let's see. So we'll say at the top there, if it's the case, 450. Okay, 450, right? We're scrolling. Come on, we're scrolling. Nice. All right, so we're at about 450. So we're miles off where we could actually aim for this. So I just claim Big Titty Goff GF. Is this what you look at and you go, yes, this is what I want in life? I don't think so. He's the square man. Look at this. Oh, wow.
Dash.
I have once again muted myself at some point. So I apologize for that. I don't even know what mutes it when I do that stuff. But anyway, fixed it. But the main thing when it comes to the vehicle is it's pretty unfortunate when it comes to its like overall depression and overall stuff. I was just saying while I muted myself, like you're not able to get the gun on the missiles on target, or sorry, the rockets on target. So what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to find defilades like this just so you can fire straight onto a vehicle. Now, the other thing is there's a bit of a problem with the rangefinder right now, where it doesn't actually accurately rangefind things, kind of like the Sturmtiger, where you've kind of got to think about it. You've got to try and like, you know, add a little bit or take away a little bit. Same with like the aiming for this thing. You can see against this Panther here, we're hitting like both sides of it, and we're actually aiming at about 550, and then eventually you hit it and overpressure it. So eventually it dies. But yeah, if you're able to donk things with the rockets, then it does kill them. Like you can see here with the Panzer IV, you can see here like with the Panzer II if I'm able to hit it. Like it will just annihilate everything that it touches, mostly, if you actually hit things with it. But it's just a simple fact that it's just a truck with a bunch of rockets on it, which is hard to aim. Like that's all it is. And you know, if they want to stick these vehicles in the game, then all this makes me think of is hopefully in the future we can have a bunch of vehicles which, at least in my opinion, would make a lot more sense in the game, but also are of a similar ilk. Vehicles like this should give a lot of people hope for silly vehicles and odd vehicles and just weird setups that, you know, people generally want to see. And I think when I, you know, think about a vehicle like this is what I class as like a montage vehicle. So there'll be a lot of people who use this thing to try and get like kills with, and to try and, you know, like make some like cool videos around it and everything. But it's never going to be able to do what people want it to do. You know, it's never going to be able to like take over games or, you know, shoot a bunch of people at once and be really useful. It's just going to turn up and you're just going to fire a bunch of rockets, and that's really about it. Same with the Katyusha, and also I'm pretty sure this thing's going to go down in BR. I'll be amazed if this thing actually stays at 4.0. 4.0 seems way too high for a machine like this. You know, I know the Sturmtiger is pretty high, but also at the same time, it's the Sturmtiger actually has a redeeming quality in the form of armor, where this thing, it can just be a machine gun to death. So it's another vehicle that's kind of odd and weird and wonky, and I'm sure many people will enjoy it going forward. But don't expect a world beater, you know? Just expect a little truck. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Millie Draper, Juan the Panda, Nick R. Kupila, Carrion Crow, Gus Irenicus, Pyman, Merciless Reaper, Orange Tail, Teddy, Daniel Stanton, Moxie B. Young, Peter Grayling, Jerry Provolt, Bareen, Alan Hacker, Sem Arslan, Uncle Bean, Derek R., and Lafouche for supporting the channel.